I mean it this time. I can't imagine.
You mean it every time.
And welcome back to Couch Football with Luke and Ryan. Ryan's mad at me.
I just confused.
I made him pause so that I could take in room noise.
It's like a 10-second pause too.
You need a good sample size. That way you know what you got to filter out.
Stared awkwardly at each other.
All right, so we've got some Week 11 reactions. We've got NFL news. We've got Waiver Heroes. And then we've got a game preview. And then we have the fantasy window as always. So,
of course.
All right, Week 11 reactions. Well, you thought that we would get through a week of reactions where we don't talk about the Bears, but we're going to talk about the Bears.
I mean, we have to. They're top of the division right now, so.
And they won another nail-biter where it looked like they were going to win, and then it looked like they were going to lose, and then it looked like they were going to win, and then they did win. So,
well, that ended nice.
The Bears are going to send me to an early grave. So far they've won off of 2 game-winning field goals, a blocked game-winning field goal against the Raiders. There was the 2-score comeback against the Giants with like 3 minutes of game time left. There was the miraculous Colston Loveland touchdown against the Bengals. Really, there's only 2 games that they've won handedly, and it was the Saints and the Cowboys. So
what I'm hearing is they win games.
They win games, but they still have not played anyone that's actually worth playing. They play the Steelers this week, and we'll see what happens to Aaron Rodgers. So
a lot of their games have been one-score games. So
yeah, they are 5-1 in one-score games.
They got a tough schedule coming up.
Which in previous years, even against bad teams, the Bears are usually 1-5 in one-score games. So at least things are looking up. Sam Darnold fell from grace a little bit. He threw 4 picks, and the Seahawks lost to the Rams 21-19. Not something I'm necessarily worried about. I think they'll bounce back. I think it was just a bad game, and mediocre quarterbacks do have games like that. Well, I shouldn't even say mediocre. There were games where Brett Favre and Peyton Manning threw like 4 or 5 picks. So
yeah, but this is Sam Darnold's what, 4th team, 5th team?
5th team, but he has been good on 3 of them. So,
well, it's
the ones he was bad on were Carolina, which is known as a quarterback graveyard, and the Jets, which is known as quarterback purgatory. So, so there you have that. But with the Seahawks losing to the Rams, power rankings this week. I don't know if you've looked at different sources, ESPN, NFL, all that stuff. Power rankings are all over the place. I watched 3 or 4 different videos / articles on different people's power rankings. Tom Brady's ESPN's,
playing?
Colin Cowherd, and they're all different. Some of them, the Seahawks aren't even in the top 5 now. Some of them, the Seahawks are still in the top 5. Some of them, the Colts aren't in the top 10. Some of them, the Chiefs are still in the top 10. But most of them, the Chiefs are out. So, I think in a couple weeks we should do our own power rankings and see where we're sitting. But right now, it's a very competitive NFL season. There's no team that's dominating. And I think that's made for some pretty entertaining football. Except for on primetime. Some of these primetime games have been freaking terrible. So I don't know what to make out of that. In other news, fantasy news, more personal news, Michael Wilson destroyed my soul.
Oh, geez.
Last minute pickup by my opponent, 33 points in PPR, didn't even score a touchdown.
18 targets, 15 receptions, something like that? 16 receptions.
Yeah, something crazy. But what we've learned, in our main league at least, is if you are playing against me, if you're listening to this right now and you're playing against me, always pick up a wide receiver that's available in free agency and play them against me. Because so far, there's Michael Wilson doing that to me. There was Tez Johnson scoring 20 against me, and there was Torrey Horton scoring 2 touchdowns the week before that.
Okay.
Waiver wire wide receivers, great against me.
Calm down, Luke. Calm down.
I love putting up the highest points in a loss. I love it so much. Okay, fine. That's enough of me venting. We'll see. If the Bears lose this next week, I might have some grievances to air out next week. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let's check in on the news team.
News team, assemble!
Okay, so Thursday Night Football news. Buffalo plans to bench wide receiver Keon Coleman once again against the Texans. He missed last week because they benched him due to skipping meetings, and it looks like the punishment still is in effect.
That's pretty big.
It's not like the Cowboys and they're, you don't get to play the first drive. They say you don't get to play the game.
Yeah, do we know what he did, or is it just...
They say skipping meetings. That's
Okay, because Khalil Shakir is also... it's not that he's out. He's on... missed practice because of personal reasons. So something happened in his personal life, so maybe both of them might not play tomorrow. Are you firing up, who's that guy? Shavers? Tyrell Shavers?
Possibly. I mean, you know me, I'm never keen to throw in anyone on a Thursday night unless I absolutely have to, because sometimes it's just, actually most of the time for me, it's just a bad start to the week. I'll play a player on Thursday night and they will get me 4 points. And then it's like, oh good. I love starting the week off behind. You know what's the worst though? The worst is Thursday nights, like the Bengals-Steelers game, playing the Steelers defense and starting the week off by spotting your opponent a couple points because the Steelers got negative like 3.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah. It's a good feeling if you're playing against someone that started the Steelers defense.
It'll be interesting if Coleman and Shakir don't play, because then we'll see, is it literally just anyone can play receiver with Josh Allen, or do Shakir and Coleman have talent? Well, yeah.
I mean, receivers, they get a certain amount of repertoire with their quarterback. And
Coleman was a first-round pick, I believe. Shakir was 4th round, maybe?
Yeah,
5th?
I mean, losing starters hurts, but at the same time, the really talented QBs always find a way to win with nothing. Brady had one guaranteed Hall of Famer receiver that wasn't Gronk, obviously, because he's a tight end, and it was Randy Moss. And when Brady had him, he threw 50 touchdowns in a season for a then NFL single season record. So the great ones always find a way. Look at Drew Brees. Drew Brees, he almost never had Pro Bowl receivers other than Brandon Cooks here and there, and Michael Thomas, I guess. Too.
Michael Thomas was always injured.
Yeah, he was hurt a lot, but yeah. Okay, so. Yeah, so Keon Coleman, out for disciplinary reasons. Marvin Harrison Jr. ruled out for Week 12, appendicitis from last week, so still going to miss time. Probably fire up Michael Thomas. I mean, Michael Thomas and Trey McBride seem to be the main dudes for... what did I just say?
Michael Thomas,
I said Michael Thomas, Michael Wilson. My mistake. Michael... Talk about the Saints.
Get the facts straight.
Yeah, but Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, they're the main beneficiaries of Marvin Harrison. I mean, Trey McBride's good no matter what, but...
Greg Dorsch getting some scraps from the table as well.
See what happens with that. Yeah, I mean, I've got Michael Wilson. I have him on my bench in the Dynasty League that we're in together, and we'll see. I might play him over Keenan Allen. See what happens with that.
Isn't Allen on bye this week?
I will definitely be playing Michael Wilson.
Good thing we sorted that out right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think last week were there bye weeks last week?
Yeah. Saints and Colts were on bye last week.
Yeah, I don't have any. Well, I guess I have Kamara.
Broncos, Chargers, Dolphins, Commanders this week.
Yeah, and then next week is no one, right? Because it's the Thanksgiving week.
No one's on bye next week, and Week 14... Panthers, Patriots, Giants, Niners. I think that's it. Week 14 is the last week of bye weeks.
Yeah.
Which is kind of late, because that's the game before playoffs usually for most fantasy leagues.
Yeah, they normally do it in Week 14, though. I've had some crucial ones happen the week before playoffs. So, okay, Michael Penix Jr., he had to have his ACL repaired. So he is out, they say, at least 9 months. So at this point... they don't know if he will be starting next season. So...
Looks like Kirk Cousins might get a new contract.
I mean, maybe. So, I mean, it's time for Kirk Cousins to prove it. And Drake London is also week to week with an injury. So I will say, last year when Cousins was the starter, he loved Darnell Mooney. He loved taking deep shots to Mooney. So I don't know if Mooney will necessarily be a good play this week, but
Drake London.
I'll definitely be playing him in some of the leagues that I'm in because I don't have better options at this point with some of my players. So.
You're definitely playing Mooney as a wide receiver 3 or flex. Drake London's out, so it's going to be...
We'll see that, but we already got a sample size of this. Earlier this year, Penix missed a game. It was Cousins. London also wasn't in the game. Mooney got like 2 targets and got like maybe 1 reception. So we've already seen a bad sample size of this. So I think it is gutsy to do. I still have to do it though in one of our leagues. So
it is prudent to mention that Mooney has not had what you would consider a good game all year. He eclipsed 50 yards only once, and the targets he gets on average 3-4 targets a game. So
yeah, Cousins is good for Mooney. He's just bad for everyone else. He's bad for Drake London. He's bad for Bijan, and I'd say he's probably bad for Pitts, but it's pretty close. Pitts is not. I mean,
he's getting better.
He's getting better, but you were never expecting, tight end 1 performances from Kyle Pitts.
Oh, you were the first year you drafted him.
Right, yeah. When you were young and stupid.
Then you're like, but Pitts has had a couple good games. We'll see what he does with Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, if Cousins learns to check it down more to Bijan... The first game that it was Cousins this season, Bijan ended with like 9 points, which was his worst game of the year.
Take it with a grain of salt.
No, I mean
This is from the Bijan owner. I wish you would check it down more to Bijan.
A big part of Bijan's play is he will line up in the slot and he will run wide receiver routes, and Penix throws it to him. Cousins wasn't throwing to him. So as long as he learns that Bijan is an asset in the passing game, then they'll be fine. He is their offense. So, okay, Shedeur Sanders will start in week 12.
Ooh.
Now, people were dunking on him after his debut. It was less than adequate.
4 completions, 16 attempts, and an interception.
Yeah, so people were giving him... I mean, rightfully so. He
didn't start the game.
Yeah. You got a Hall of Famer for your dad, who was also your coach. You get a lot of media attention that you're growing up around. He had a big head, rightfully so. Decorated his own draft room at home. Had, artists come in to throw up, graffiti around it said, legendary and stuff like that. So, dude definitely has... Is it the opposite of a chip on your shoulder? So, I mean, the chip should have happened from, sitting in that draft room for days before you finally got picked. But we'll see. I mean, I don't dislike the guy. I would like to see him succeed, but we'll see what happens. He talked a lot of smack. So, you're going to deal with criticism when you go out and you crap the bed when you finally get your opportunity. So, and, there are also apologists. They're saying, he didn't get first team reps that week. Yeah, you know who else didn't get first team reps when they were asked to take over? Tom Brady. Oh, and Brock Purdy as well. And both of those guys took their opportunities and never looked back, so.
Yeah, and I don't think it's looking good for Shedeur Sanders this week. They're playing the Raiders, who... Not a good team, judging by their score. They have been a good defense, though. So I don't know if this is going to be the best game to showcase his talent, but he'll have a chance against a good defense but weak team.
Yeah. Couple more Thursday night news. Kincaid's out.
Kincaid.
CJ Stroud is still out. He's still in concussion protocol. And then Jackson Dart, he returned to practice on Wednesday. That's not Thursday night. That's just, I'm going on still.
You know who also returned to practice, Luke?
Jalen Johnson for the Bears.
Well, yeah, but not him.
Kyler Gordon for the Bears?
No.
TJ Edwards for the Bears?
None of those guys.
He didn't. He did not practice. I got you, Ryan.
Okay, none of the Bears guys. No, this guy is quarterback for the Bengals. Joe Burrow back at practice.
It happened. That was last week.
Was it last
It
week?
was, yeah.
Oh, this was this week's news.
He is ahead of schedule is what he is.
I have practices fully. So
Okay. I think he was limited last week.
Okay.
So other quarterback news, Aaron Rodgers won't need surgery on his fractured wrist, and he is pushing to play against the Bears. As Bears fans, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see him play because I would like the Bears to beat him on his final game against Chicago. But we will see. I mean, Rodgers always found a way to beat the Bears even when he had not the best teams. He beat the 2018 Bears week 1. They lost the second time they played, but still, they had all that momentum with the new coach and the Khalil Mack trade, and they still lost. So, see what happens there.
sad. But the injury is to his non-dominant or non-throwing hand.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I mean, we'll see. I hope he plays because I don't want there to be any more excuses for the Bears not beating legitimate people. I agree the Bears haven't beat a legitimate team, but that's also why I don't want to see them beat the Mason Rudolph Steelers because it's just going to be the same old, they still haven't beaten anyone. If they beat the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you'll still have people that are like, well, Rodgers was injured, but the Steelers are 6-3, I think. That's a legitimate team right there. They've got a legitimate defense. So I don't want to hear it if the Bears beat them with Aaron Rodgers. If they lose to him, then there you go.
Steelers are top of their division. They're about halfway in the league in points allowed, and then third in the league in sacks, and ninth and eighth in interceptions. So they are a decent defense for sure.
Yeah. And then, speaking of that division and the Steelers, the NFL has suspended Jamar Chase 1 game for spitting on Jalen Ramsey. He swears he didn't do it, though. But high-definition cameras say you are a liar.
There's video footage of this.
He still says it didn't happen.
Maybe it just wasn't intentional. He had something in his throat, and he was trying to spit on the field, and,
Right.
Just got in the way.
Jamar Chase does not realize that cameras have been invented, and he's having a tough time coming to grips with it. And then the Jets benched Justin Fields in favor of Tyrod Taylor.
Which doesn't make any sense at all. Granted, I am a Justin Fields believer and wondering why he doesn't get a fair shot. But just have him pass the ball more, or get a better offensive line. Also, Tyrod Taylor is an old man now, so why are you putting in someone like that on a losing season instead of maybe finishing the season out with Justin Fields, who could potentially be something?
Are you asking a hypothetical question, or do you actually want a reason?
It's hypothetical right now. I'm going to need a reason week 18 though.
No, I can tell you the reason. The reason is to appease the fans. The reason is to look at your fan base that hates you right now and has hated you for years now, and say, "Look, we're doing some stuff. We're trying different things." And it's just like, it's the same reason why head coaches get fired in season. It's the head coach isn't always at fault for a team sucking. But the organization will fire a head coach because they're searching for a scapegoat and they're looking to be able to look at the fan base and say, look, we're trying things. We got rid of our coach. That's what this is.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor makes no sense. Trade for someone like Trey Lance or some, backup that might have potential.
Tyrod Taylor's not a bad quarterback.
I guess you're past the trade deadline now, so there's something to be said for that. But
Tyrod Taylor got the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in 19 years. He's not a bad quarterback. He's not a starter. He's not a Pro Bowler or anything, but he won't be good. He won't be better than Fields for the Jets, but that's because the Jets, it's not the quarterback. The Jets are a bad team. But yeah, they're just looking to appease people. That's what it is. Okay. I think that'll do it for news. There was a lot more news than I thought there was going to be. So, Just to clarify with Drake London, it's a PCL sprain is the injury. So, okay. Let's go ahead and transition to Waiver Heroes. Okay, so Waiver Heroes. So these are our picks. I guess it could also be called Undrafted Gems. These are our picks for fantasy players that were undrafted in most formats and turned out to have some success on the year, and players that if you pick them up, you're probably still starting them and you're hoping that they can continue to provide good performances to your team. So
we're looking at full point PPR.
We are, yeah. Yep. Which is probably the most popular format at this point in fantasy. Do you know anyone that plays standard format anymore?
They
should probably stop calling it standard format, because I don't remember the last time I heard of someone playing in a standard format league.
They stop calling it that. People are going to get confused.
Okay. So, I think we each have a couple picks.
You just want to run down quarterback, running back, wide receiver.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay. So, quarterback was one of the easier ones. There were some that I had trouble with, but with quarterback, I've actually got two. This one is a player that went drafted in our league, and I think he was drafted in a decent amount of leagues, but he wasn't drafted in a handful. And I just want to shout him out real quick. Drake May. Number 2 quarterback on the year. Number 1 in the AFC right now. Number 1, the team is number 1 in the AFC right now. He went in like the 14th round in our draft, maybe 13th. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he went in undrafted in some leagues, and yeah, if you get the number 2 quarterback in one of the last rounds, or you scoop him up off the waiver wire, like, how can you complain about that?
And he's been that good every single week, or most weeks. Like, he really hasn't had a game. He had one game where he scored 26 and one game where he scored 27. So he's been good consistently. So it's not a one game that's inflating those statistics.
Yeah, and then my actual pick, because this player was definitely... Well, he was drafted in leagues. Okay. My actual pick, because this player was not drafted in any redraft leagues, is Daniel Jones.
Old DJ.
So, season average, we're going average because some teams haven't had bye weeks yet. Season average, he's number 7 on the year. So you got a QB1, you got him off of waivers. He has consistently provided good performances. There's a 10-point week here. This is 4-point passing touchdowns. There's a 10-point week. That's his worst week. I think you can be okay with that. So, yeah, Daniel Jones is my pick. Nobody saw him coming. People thought he would start for like 2 games, then he would get benched for Anthony Richardson. So,
yeah, that's just crazy. He's been doing well with them. Apparently, all the Colts needed was a failed QB to really...
This is the recipe nowadays. Quarterbacks are not good for the team that drafted them. They become good for the next, or in Baker Mayfield's case, the next team they play for.
But he is good now,
That's right.
Okay. My pick, which we have 3 quarterbacks that you went in later rounds or not drafted at all. Is pretty good. This one is QB for the New York Giants. Jackson Dart has been really, really good. He took over for Russell Wilson week 4, and he's been just lighting it up each and every week. He has more games over 20 points than he does under 20 points right now. And on average, he's been getting, it says 18 points a game. That feels a little low, just because some of those games he took basically 0 points because he needed out. But on average, he's getting over 20 points a game right now. And having that for a waiver wire pickup, which I think he's been doing better than Daniel Jones. I think he's on Drake May's level right now with his performance.
Yeah. Granted
that May is a second-year QB, so... Maybe it's just that first-year wonder where QB just hits it off, and he might...
He's the Jaden Daniels of this year.
Yeah,
This is what Jaden Daniels is doing last year, because what you're getting with Jackson Dart is you're getting a rushing floor that almost guarantees like 8 or 9 points a week, because he can always rush for a touchdown, but then he also will consistently get like 40 yards on the ground.
Do you know how many weeks he's rushed for a touchdown?
Most of them. He got 2 rushing against the Bears.
He has rushed for a touchdown in every single game that he started, except for 1 this year.
Yeah. And then...
So we got Josh Allen 2.0 right now.
Maybe. And then on average... So the reason he's only averaging 18 is because against the Chiefs, he had to come in for Russell Wilson, and he got 0.3. And then the week before that, he had -3 rushing yards. Probably, I think they were kneel down. No, they weren't kneel downs. But either way, that was -0.3.
They would have to be.
They didn't win that game, though. That game went into overtime.
Yeah,
So
you got a point.
maybe they put him out there for a gadget play, and he didn't pick up the yards. But either way, he's got 2 weeks where he scored less than a point, and that factors into the average. So that's why that number... in reality, he's averaged much higher. He's not 15th like he's actually listed. He probably is probably 9th. I bet he's top 10, so...
Yeah, just looking at QB 1 through 10 on the week, yeah, he's consistently within QB 10 on the week.
Yeah, and then shout out Matthew Stafford, who's averaging 20 points a game. He's the number 6 QB on the year, and he was undrafted in a lot of leagues.
We talking about MVP potential, Matthew Stafford?
Very possibly. At this point, it's tough to say.
Might be the oldest person to receive the award for the first time.
I see. I was going to say, that can't be true, because Brady won it when he was 40. But yeah, that was his 3rd time getting it. So... But yeah, Stafford, MVP is going to be tough this year. MVP voting, or betting, I'm really tempted to just throw some bets down on the 5th or 6th player, because power rankings are so all over the place. Normally MVP goes the quarterback of the best team. Who is the best team at this point? No one really knows who the best team is going to be. At this point, Ryan, can you even predict who's going to actually be in the Super Bowl? Last year we could have easily been Chiefs and Eagles. That makes sense. Maybe not Eagles as much, but Chiefs for sure. This year, I don't know on either side who's going to be in the playoffs.
You know.
Or who's going to be in the Super Bowl, I guess.
We're going to have a Patriots-Bears Super Bowl. Heard it here first.
It's a 1985 throwback.
Bold predictions.
Yeah. We'll see. Okay, let's go to running back. So... Running back, it's been a weird year because I had a very easy time finding good waiver pickups for quarterback and tight end, but not so much running back and receiver. Normally it's the opposite. Normally receivers are... Normally there's a receiver that you pick up, like a Puka Nakua. You pick him up after week 1, and you're like, man... I mean, it's not always Puka. He was a little bit extra special, but... There's always a receiver that you can pick up on waivers and they become an every week start for you. This year it's been more tough. And then running back has also been really tough because even when injuries happen and you flood to the backup, you're still getting let down. Like when Eckler went down and Krosky Merritt, he wasn't on waivers in a ton of leagues, but a lot of people, were playing him. And he had a couple good weeks and then he fell off the face of the earth. So... For me, this isn't even a player that really he did benefit from an injury, but after the player came back from injury, he's still consistently getting production because he became the starter. I'm talking about Rico Dowdle.
Ooh.
Who else could it be when it comes to waiver wire running backs? Rico Dowdle, actually, most people didn't even have to put in a waiver for him. It was... waivers cleared, and then the announcement came out that Chuba was going to be out, so a lot of people were able to pick him up for free. I know in the league I've got him, I picked him up for free, and I mean, what a game changer that's become, because he has been someone that you can consistently play now, especially now that he's the starter. His worst week since starting would have been the 6-point game against Buffalo. Script didn't really deem that the running back would be getting a lot of points against Buffalo. In a matchup like that, they're not, a guy that's not necessarily known for pass catching, even though he's been a pretty good pass catcher. It wasn't in the cards for him to have a 30-point week, but he has single-handedly been saving one of my rosters because I've had a lot of injuries, and it's been like that for a lot of people that have Rico. He's the number 10 running back on the season, so he's an RB1, and... Like I said, you probably didn't even have to put in a waiver claim for him. He was probably just sitting there. You got the notification that Chuba was out and you scooped him up. Yeah, so that's my running back pick.
Okay. Dottle's been solid, so if you did pick him up, you are happy that you did. Mine, I went in a little different direction. Both these guys are a little weak, so hopefully they equal up to a strong player. I got one from the Chiefs, one from the Seahawks, actually. So from the Chiefs, Kareem Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Then from the Seahawks, Zach Charbonnet. And these are guys that are averaging just over 9 points a week. So you're not putting them out there as your running RB1. Is more of a flex play. But these guys have been consistently either getting touchdowns or getting opportunity. Kareem Hunt these past couple weeks got 11 and 13 carries. His points for the last 3 weeks, they were on bye last week. They played this week. But Kareem Hunt got 17, 12, and then 13 points. So if you picked him up on waivers, you were probably pretty happy. It seems like Pacheco's...
He's really benefited from Pacheco being out.
Yeah. So maybe more of an afterthought for Pacheco now. It might be the Kareem Hunt show again.
We'll see. Pacheco is getting closer and closer to a return, and when he comes back, I probably won't have the guts to continue to play Kareem Hunt, but...
Not even for the touchdown potential? I mean, they're putting Hunt in at the goal line.
He's the goal line back, and it's a good... It's something, if you got bye week players, if you got injured players, he's always someone you can chuck in and hope he'll fall into the end zone. But I just think the Chiefs running backs is such a gamble. It's been nice that Pacheco's been out for Kareem Hunt because guaranteed touches. But other than that, Pacheco was getting 60% of the snaps when he was healthy. And it was really just the 25% of goal line carries that was saving Kareem Hunt on a week-to-week basis. But yeah, I mean, he's been great for the last 3 weeks that he's played.
Yeah, he has a higher average, or Kareem Hunt has a higher average points per game.
Right.
So I think you would rather play Kareem, even with both of them playing. I think you'd rather play Kareem Hunt.
Oh, I would. I would have. If I could go back in time, I had Pacheco somewhere. If I could go back in time, I would have dropped Pacheco to pick up Kareem Hunt. And it's not the snap counts. Pacheco still beats him in. It's just Pacheco does not get goal line work, and that's what you need in the Chiefs' offense. So.
Yeah, and then looking at Charbonnet, you really haven't wanted a Seahawks running back since Marshawn Lynch, you know. And Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker is the lead running back right now, but they're both getting like double-digit carries, meaning like 12 or 13. So the opportunity for Charbonnet is there. Now, you don't feel as good playing him, but he gets opportunity. He's not on the field as much, more of like a 35-40% on the field guy. But as a running back that's getting double-digit carries, I think you have to consider him for flex plays every week. And if you picked him up, you're definitely keeping him on your bench. So kind of a weaker pickup. I mean, you probably grabbed him for $5 at the beginning of the year if you went undrafted, but
he is the ultimate touchdown vulture for Kenneth Walker. But I do want to go back a little bit. You just said that you haven't wanted a Seahawks running back since Marshawn Lynch. I'm going to ask you to put some respect on Chris Carson's name.
I did have Chris Carson, and he done me dirty one year, so I'm kind of off that train just because of fan. Well,
I will say, it ended very poorly. The injury. Chris Carson's career ended. He had a neck injury in which he didn't go to IR for, and they said like they expect him to be week to week, or it went from day to day to week to eventually IR to he retired. So it was a rough ending for sure.
Yeah, but it was like every single week. It's like, oh, he might play. No, he's not playing. Oh, he might play. He's not playing.
It was annoying for sure because
you can't drop him at that
on
point.
a week. Yeah, and on a week-to-week basis, he wasn't IR slot eligible until game time. So it was frustrating. Okay, let's do receiver. Like I said, receiver was tough to come up with. and I don't even feel that strongly about this player, but for me, it's Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
For the Giants, now he is the beneficiary of an injury, obviously, to Malik Neighbors. And he wasn't even someone that, like, he wasn't someone that I was exactly flooding to get to, which is why I didn't get him anywhere.
Really? I mean, first 2 weeks, he was, 13 and 28 points, so he got production with.
I mean, I bid on him, but I didn't, like, go $55.
Maybe you should have.
I mean, possibly, but he was... But, I mean, he benefited from Malik Neighbors being healthy, though, because now he's really the only threat. I mean, well, Darius Slayton has been so in and out of that lineup with injuries and whatnot. But he's had some bad weeks, but then he's had some decent weeks. Points per game, sitting at 12 in PPR. I mean, you'll take that off the waiver wire. He went for... not a ton in our league, actually. Maybe I didn't bid for him in our league. You know what? I definitely went after him in the league I had Neighbors in, but he went for a $7 bid in our league.
Good pickup, Brack.
I think that was before... Was that before the Neighbors injury?
September 16th, so seems about right for Neighbors injury. Yeah, that had to have been before, because he had a 28-point game. So it's like, you got to pick him up.
Yeah, that must have been what it was. So yeah, maybe that's what it was. He wasn't available in our league, and he was available in another league, and that's what I remember bidding for him in. But yeah, he's been decent, but I mean, not what you typically get out of a waiver wire receiver. Like, I'm just saying, I remember in years past, I've been able to get guys off of the waiver wire that will consistently get like 15 points, and I just haven't really seen that player. This is the closest I found to that player. Receivers have been weird this year. Looking at last week, it was the trade deadline, right? And I was going through many rosters trying to look to upgrade my receivers, because in one league, DK Metcalf's my best receiver. And I was looking at last week's performances, and it was Michael Wilson and George Pickens. Everyone after that had a bad week, basically. So...
Oh yeah, don't I know? I played Shakir, who got 0.7.
Yeah, so receivers, it's been a weird year for receivers for sure.
No, I think Wan'Dale Robinson, solid pick. I mean, you can probably count on 10 points from the guy. He gets 10 targets a game from Jackson Dart, who we said was, one of the shining stars.
Yeah, now, going forward, we'll see if Jameis Winston starts this week. I don't know if he will. It wasn't a great... Jameis Winston against Green Bay wasn't a great experiment, but they were missing multiple. They weren't just missing Jackson Dart; they were missing multiple players. But I will say, going forward for Wan'Dale, he's got a good schedule, including a good fantasy playoff schedule. He does have that Week 14 bye, which is tough, but he's got Detroit, New England, Washington first week of the playoffs, then a bad matchup against Minnesota, but then championship week playing the Vegas Raiders, which is a great matchup. So, looking forward, Wan'Dale he's a good play, I think. He's been decent all year, and then going forward, I think you can expect some good things from him. So,
okay, my pick was someone who nobody wanted, added from free agency, so nobody even bid on this person and claimed him in our league. Just off the cuff, I think he's doing well. Why not pick him up? And he's been phenomenal. This person is a receiver for the Denver Broncos, and it's Troy Franklin. This is his second year in the league, and he's been building more and more rapport with Bo Nix. These past 5 weeks, he's had, he's averaged 9 targets a game. Granted, I will say it is concerning his completions. He only completes about half of those passes to Troy Franklin. However, Troy Franklin's been
dirt balls.
Yeah. Throwing it straight at the dirt, maybe. Bo Nix has been a little sore spot for me these past couple weeks too. Anywho, Franklin's been catching some TDs. He about averaging 1 TD a game for the past 5 weeks. And then yards could be a little bit better. He really hasn't eclipsed 100 yards. But if you've been playing him, you've been the beneficiary of, let's go back 5 weeks, 12 points, 27 points, 8 points, 15 points, 12 points. So for a waiver wire pickup, you've been loving this. So I think Troy Franklin deserves to be here as one of the gems of the waiver wire that we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, he's been good. He's a close second behind Wandale when it comes to averages.
Oh, I would take Wandale over Troy Franklin for sure.
Right. Well, I'm talking averages. Wandale was like 12.5, and Troy Franklin's just under 12 points a game. So it's close. Matchup wise, he's got 2 good ones in a row, and then they got Green Bay, and then championship week they got a bad one. It's against Kansas City, which he did just score 12 points against them, but we'll see what happens with that.
12 points, no touchdown, so it's decent.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And then wrap it up with the tight end. For me, I thought mine was obvious, but then when Ryan said his tight end pick, It was someone I wasn't expecting, but it made sense. For me, I'm going with Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson was undrafted in most leagues, and then he was scooped up immediately, right? He was scooped up pretty much
immediately.
If he made it to after week 2 and he scored 19, well, we're tight end premium, so that's something. But in our league, he scored 19, and he was gone after that. And then he was the tight end 1 for a very long stretch of time, and now he's the tight end 2. He's cooled off a little bit, but, I mean, the dude is a touchdown machine. And, I mean, there's not very many tight ends I'd play over him. I'd play Trey McBride, I'd play Brock Bowers, that's it. Other than that, I think I'd rather have Jake Ferguson. So.
Warren? Tyler Warren?
No, Jake Ferguson.
Okay, he's not in that conversation. Okay.
Not the top 3. He's probably top 5.
My tight end might be a contender for that top 3. Possibly.
Maybe by the end of the season.
Yeah, no, Jake Ferguson. Okay, so Dak Prescott in general is, he can play like a top 5 QB. So having any pass catcher on his team seems to do well, especially this past week, which CeeDee Lamb, Pickens, and then Ferguson. So for a waiver wire pickup tight end, Jake Ferguson, pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Ferguson, he averages 14 points a game in PPR. McBride averages 18, and Bowers averages pretty much 15, right under 15.
Yeah, Bowers hasn't been doing his full potential though.
But you're getting almost Bowers level numbers out of Ferguson. So
okay. Mine, I went to a team that is in the negative, has a losing record. And that's where apparently you find great tight ends. And this tight end is Juwan Johnson for the New Orleans Saints. With going on his second QB of the year, and has rapport with both, apparently. So Juwan Johnson is a tight end that has put up, on average, 10 points a game, or 11 points a game if you want to round up. These past 3 games has been, we'll go 4 games, 14 points, 11 points, 12 points, 20 points. Off of someone that you picked up off the waiver wire. Shout out to Caleb, who bid on him, then dropped him, then picked him back up again.
Okay. I've got to comment on that, because Caleb texted me about that in a huff recently, because it was a snapshot of all of Juwan Johnson's games, all of his points scored, and he was like, can you guess what 3 weeks I started Johnson for? It was 6 points, 4 points, 2 points. And that's in between a stretch where he scored no less than 11.5. So, Caleb got unlucky there.
Yeah. So, Juwan Johnson has been getting a lot of targets from the beginning of the season. Recently, with new quarterback Tyler Shuck, he's had only 4 targets on these past couple games. But, new quarterback, probably not throwing as much. I would say, keep him because he's hot. You stay in the fire. He's got a touchdown the past couple games, and there's no reason to think he wouldn't be the first option for a tight end for a rookie QB. So I think you would play him regardless of whoever. I mean, maybe if you had one of those three, Bowers or Ferguson or McBride, you play them. But
Dalton Schultz.
I,
As long as Davis Mills is still the quarterback.
it's a tough call. I'd probably play Juwan Johnson over.
They both average the same amount of points right now.
But they're both kind of in the same situation. You're hoping for a TD from either or. So pick your poison.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, here, honorable mention Tucker Kraft. Obviously, he's out for the season, which is brutal.
TK. I don't think he was drafted, though. Kraft was drafted.
He was drafted in a lot of leagues, but not all of them. Being tight end premium, he was drafted in our league, but there were leagues of mine that he wasn't drafted in. So I just wanted to shout him out because for a while there, he was tight end 1 for a couple weeks.
He's still tight end 5 on the year.
He was great. But
For not playing the past. Well, technically, he got hurt, his third game, but.
yeah, he was there. He's right there with Bowers and Ferguson when it comes to average. So, okay. Let's go ahead and transition to our game preview. Transition. Okay, so we got the 8-2 Colts at the 5-5 Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs are 5-5.
A lot of people saying that this is the year where the Chiefs missed the playoffs, and it's tough to believe, but I will say they're third in their division. And that's tough. That's a tough thing to overcome. They could overtake the Chargers, right? The Chargers have been dealing with a litany of injuries that are holding them back. But if they end the season third in the division, it's tough to secure. It's tough for one division to take up 2 of the 3 wild card slots. Look at the NFC North. That's the thing that us Bears fans are scared of right now. We're scared we're going to miss the playoffs because the NFC North won't be able to take 2 out of the 3 wild card slots. Or all 3 wild card slots. So
they're chasing Jacksonville right now, who has the last wild card slot at 6-4.
But Jacksonville beat them head to head, so they've got the tiebreaker.
But it's Jacksonville.
They have the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colts versus Chiefs, though, it should still be a good game.
Should be. It's a noon game. So it's not prime time, but I bet it'll be shown on TV. In a lot of, I would say across the country, I would say it's probably on one of the major networks for noon because lately, unless you have like a bunch of divisional things, like we're in Illinois, right? So we get Bears and then we'll get like Packers. But this last week, I tuned into the noon games. I was just on TV. I was shocked to see they were showing the Bills Buccaneers game at noon, just because it was the best matchup. So I expect the Colts Chiefs to be on regular TV because it is the best noon game matchup. We'll get to betting lines in a second, but I'll say Xavier Worthy's questionable, just like always, because he's dealing with that messed up arm.
Yep.
No serious injuries on defense for the Chiefs, and then the Colts. Nothing. Like DeForest Buckner's on IR, so that's a bad one for them. But then. Other than that, like the Colts have stayed pretty healthy.
Yeah, I only have 2 on that are questionable. They got a lot on IR, but
yeah.
Colts they grabbed who is it from the Jets?
I'm not sure. Sauce Gardner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got Sauce playing for him now, so. They should be fine on the defensive side.
I mean, he does shore things up.
They're 3rd in interceptions and 7th in sacks, so.
This will be... So he played one game. He played... Was that an international game he played for them?
Who, Sauce?
Yeah. Didn't they just play in, like, Berlin?
I can check.
I think they did. The Falcons game, right? Okay, I might be wrong, but either way, the point is that Sauce played a game, and then they went in the bye. Now they're coming out of the bye, so he should be almost completely... I mean, it's also, he's a corner, so it's not like they have super intense, it's not like the playbook is something insane for him to learn, but I'm saying we should see the best of Sauce Gardner this week, because now he's got some game time experience with this defense, and now he's gotten a full bye week to, get in and out of the different coverage types and stuff like that, different terminologies they run. So Sauce Gardner should be, if you play in an IDP league, we're not cool enough to do that, but I'm just saying,
We
Sauce
don't want
Gardner,
to do that.
I want to do it.
The majority of the league does not. And you were correct. So they played the Falcons in Berlin. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then they were on bye. So should be a good showing for Sauce now. He should be completely caught up on that. Let's do the betting lines before I forget.
Yeah, might as well. I mean,
I haven't looked at them yet. I'm assuming the
you have
Colts are favored, but I bet it's like a 2.5 spread.
okay. You want to lock that in?
Well, now I think I should change it.
Uh-huh.
1.5.
Okay, unsure. The spread is -3.5 for the Chiefs.
Wow. Okay.
So Chiefs projected to win by the sports book. Over under at 50.5 points. So higher scoring game, and then the general population out of 9,500 picks have picked the Colts to win, though.
That's just because everyone hates Kansas City.
60% of people pick the Colts to win. So
It's just because everyone hates the Chiefs. But, I mean, there's a lot on the line in this game, right?
sounds like there's some opportunity.
I mean, for sure. Like, fantasy implications?
Well, fantasy, I'm talking about make some money for betting.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Now you're at 3.5, so you're not at that 3 or within a field goal sort of situation, which is usually pretty good to bet on. But it sounds like it's going to be a high scoring game, so you could probably either team at least hit up some of the receivers and running backs individual stats for betting.
Yeah. So this will be a fun game to watch. I will tune into this one. If it's not showing on TV, I'll have to stream it, but this will be one that I do want to really tune into because both teams have a lot to prove in this game, I feel like. It's definitely a prove it game for the Colts because the Colts, when it comes to teams against a winning record, it's been pretty across the board, right? So they beat the Broncos by 1 point. They lost to the Rams. They beat the Chargers. They lost to the Steelers. There's still a lot of people that are questioning whether or not the Colts are a legitimate team. And, I mean, it's kind of rightfully so. And then you flip it over to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are sitting more than halfway through the season. They're sitting at 500 exactly. And they have not looked good. There's a lot of media coverage that's, saying things like they're going to miss the playoffs. So both these teams I expect to be fighting for their lives. The Chiefs have a lot more to fight for than the Colts, for sure. And that's why when it comes to fantasy, I think you're firing up almost everyone, right? You're never not playing Jonathan Taylor. At this point, you're never not playing Tyler Warren. You're probably never not playing Michael Pittman. I would even fire up Alec Pierce. Josh Downs, maybe. We'll see. You're playing Daniel Jones. You're playing Patrick Mahomes.
Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco.
That's such a tough one. But you're playing Rashee Rice. You're playing Xavier Worthy. You're playing Travis Kelce. You're maybe even playing Hollywood Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood Brown's that's a tough one. But Hollywood
It's a
Brown,
home game. They'll probably light it up.
We'll see. Hollywood Brown has been a tough player to guess when he's going to catch a touchdown, when he isn't. And that does define whether or not he'll be a good player or not. But I would play Rice, and I'd play Xavier Worthy. I would maybe play Kareem Hunt. Pacheco has no injury designation, so I guess he's good to go. And maybe they will try to force-feed him some touches. That's where it's tough. I think you're playing everyone, but then the Chiefs running backs, it starts to get a little dicey. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I think DFS, like DraftKings and FanDuel, I think Kareem Hunt is a great play because he's probably still relatively cheap since Pacheco's back. And like we said earlier, like he can always score a touchdown. As long as a receiver gets tackled somewhere within the 10-yard line, you can expect Kareem Hunt to get a touchdown opportunity. So, yeah, a lot of fantasy implications here.
The implications.
Yeah, Colts have a good defense though, so it is. I'm more excited to play Colts players than Chiefs players, which is funny because I don't have any Colts players.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Chiefs have been sneaky good as well. Their defense, they're number 4th in points allowed. So their other defensive sacks are 23rd in the league, interceptions are 17th. So not like amazing numbers. However, they haven't been allowing their opponents to score. So sneaky good defense from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That being said,
I still think it'd be good for fantasy, though.
I'm not playing the Chiefs defense this week. They're playing the team that is
Yeah.
number 1 in points scored. So
Yeah, you're not doing that.
it's kind of hard to fire them up.
I wouldn't start either defense in fantasy. But offensively, I'd start most pass catchers and both quarterbacks. So
At the same time.
super flex, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, do you want to go to Superflex next year?
No, not in our league, but
Okay, we'll bring it up to the league.
I am not enjoying the super flex league that we're in, Ryan. That's because my quarterbacks are Bryce Young and Sam Darnold.
You're telling me you don't want to do a 12-person Superflex league?
No,
Yeah.
we're already doing it in the other one,
Oh, that's true. We're in multiple leagues together.
and it's not fun for me at least.
well,
You're the one starting Geno Smith.
I need to change him out. But that's only a 10-person league, isn't it?
No, that's 12.
Double doing so. That's why there's no QBs in there.
Well, there's also rosters where guys it's Dynasty. There's rosters where guys just have like 8 quarterbacks on their bench. So, okay. Like Kirk Cousins, I foolishly checked to see if he would be available, but I knew he was already on a roster. Okay, so we gotta pick a team to win.
We're going to be split on this for sure.
I know we will, because I don't think there's been a Chiefs game we previewed where I haven't taken the Chiefs. And that trend is going to continue because... And
You're going against the popular opinion.
I do that every week, but...
You're going against the team that is number 1 in points scored.
I do it every week.
Okay, just
Well, not every week.
setting the
Not that
frame here so
specific
the
set.
public knows what you're doing here.
No, so... The problem is that every time we preview a Chiefs game, I'm like, oh, the Chiefs are on the cusp of having a losing record. I can't imagine Patrick Mahomes is going to allow that. But he keeps allowing that, which makes me want to rethink my decision. But at the same time, I just can't. I mean it this time. I can't imagine.
You mean it every time.
I can't imagine the Chiefs. And don't get me wrong, I am not a Chiefs fan. But I cannot imagine the Chiefs letting themselves end the season and not make the playoffs. So they have to scoop up some of these wins. And the Colts, they've lost some games that you don't expect them to lose.
2 of them.
I didn't expect them to lose the Steelers.
These are both 1-score games as well. They're both their losses. But, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but their wins haven't exactly been ultra impressive against the team.
They have had an easy season.
Woohoo, you scored 40 on the Titans twice. 38 in one of them, but 41 in the other. So, it averages out.
No, okay. I can respect that,
I'm taking the Chiefs. I don't feel super confident in it, but
Are you smashing the over as well?
it will. No.
50 and a half is the line.
No, I'll go
okay.
under just like I did last week with the Bears Vikings, and I was right. But
Okay. Calm down.
no, I would take the under, but also this will be a 1-score game. I'll say that much. I feel confident in saying it will be a 1-score. I don't know about the spread, but within 8 points is where I'll take it.
Spread says it's going to be a 1-score game, but that's usually.
Well, then I'm betting the alternate spread, and I'm betting 8.5.
Oh, well, that'd be good. 7.5. No need to, really get aggressive.
No. Okay, who's your pick?
My pick, okay. I thought we were going to be opposed, but we're actually doubling up on the same team. The Kansas City Chiefs. It's hard to count them out, as you said, but all of their losses have been 1-score games.
Yeah.
And granted that they've still
They're
lost
the new
that
Chicago Bears.
game, they flip a coin and their record could be same as the Colts, 8-2.
Same as the Chicago Bears. Except for it'd be the opposite. They would have the same record as the Jets.
So, granted that they've lost these games. They have been close games, and they've always been, in contention to win said games. So looking at that and looking at their time of possession, because we said both defenses were pretty good. Colts being better, Chiefs being a little lackluster but sneaky good. Time of possession, usually it's a superfluous stat. You kind of like, okay, the teams get the ball for so much. Maybe it was raining and they do more of a run game, so on and so forth. Anywho, Chiefs have a better time of possession. And when both defenses are pretty good, you kind of look to the team.
That's just because Jonathan Taylor can break away a touchdown at any moment.
Yeah, but the Chiefs are number 1 in rush yards per game. So one would assume that, their time of possession would be more because they're always running the ball. They're always running the clock.
Yeah.
So I think this matchup with time of possession does show a little bit. And it gives Chiefs a slight edge, enough to push me to say that, hey, they're going to win. Now, I think they're going to smash the over. I think the game's going to be like 30-30. Because it might be cloudy, but, no precipitation and so on and so forth. But it's going to be a high of 67. I mean, this is prime football weather. They're just going to keep throwing it deep. Granted that they're good defenses, but hey, you got to air the ball out every now and then. Yeah. So the under is probably the smart play, but my heart wants to see the over. I want an exciting game.
I mean, I bet against my heart on Monday Night Football, the Cowboys-Raiders game. That game started out, and it was a field goal off, and I bet the over. I don't remember why. No, I do remember why. It was we do the league median thing in our league, and I was within like 10 points of the league median, so I bet the over as kind of a hedge bet in case that game was massively high scoring, and it was like 47.5, and at that point the game was 6-3 with almost a quarter down. It hit the over. The Cowboys almost got the over by themselves. So, sometimes you bet against your better judgment and things work out. So, we both took the Chiefs. Let's real quick do the fantasy window.
Fantasy window.
All right, so the fantasy window, these are fringe picks, basically. Players that are not guaranteed must-starts that you feel good about, or that we feel good about this week. Mine is very contingent on a couple of things happening. So, I'll just say it. Mine is DK Metcalf versus Chicago,
Ooh.
who is 24th against wide receivers. DK Metcalf, he has been rough. It's been a rough experience with DK Metcalf. But the reason it's contingent on injuries is in order for me to lock this in, I need two things to happen. I need Aaron Rodgers to play, and I need Jalen Johnson for the Bears to not play. I need the Bears to still be on their number 3 and number 4 corners, because Bears defense, they're leading the leagues in picks, but man, they allow a lot of yards. And Jefferson and Jordan Addison, if J.J. McCarthy would have been, accurate last week, they could have tore the Bears up. So, that being said, Vikings fans, cut J.J. McCarthy some slack, all right? He's basically a rookie. Like, give the kid some time. But anyways,
okay,
just a little thing on that. But
Robers will appreciate that.
That's right. Scoring points with Robers. Robers, trade with me. You know you want Bijan Robinson. Butter him up.
Don't plug your fantasy trades on the podcast.
Why not? We know Robers is the only one that's listening. Anyways, so yeah. A lot of contingency there, but DK Metcalf for Chicago. Now, if it doesn't happen, if Rodgers doesn't play, if Jalen Johnson plays, forget about it. Forget I said this. Instead, switch to A.J. Brown versus Dallas. All right? There we go. Ryan, who's your pick?
A.J. Brown versus Dallas. Oh, man.
Or Devontae Smith. I like both of them because Dallas is terrible against receivers. So.
That's a fair point. No. I have 2 picks. And I have 2 picks because one of them is still questionable whether he's going to start or not. So the questionable one is Emmanuel Wilson. Backup running back for the Green Bay Packers.
Could be the starter this week.
Yep, Josh Jacobs day-to-day. He did not practice today. So I would lead me to believe Emmanuel Wilson would start. Emmanuel Wilson has done really well as the backup. He did 11 for 40 in a TD last week when Jacobs got hurt. So I would think he'd be a sneaky flex play if you need him. I didn't have to pick him up on waivers in some leagues, so he might still be available. Not in couch, but it happens.
Yeah, people go after that. I will touch a little bit on my AJ Brown pick just to say. So he spoke to Eagles ownership because they just wanted to talk to him and figure out what they need to do because he's been a little bit of a squeaky wheel per se. And I will say, ever since that meeting, there's only been one game played since that meeting, but 11 targets and 7 receptions. Didn't get a ton of yards, but it did look like they are trying to manufacture touches for him. So that's another reason why I actually do pick him. It's not just the Dallas matchup. So
okay, and then my other pick is actually a big name that hasn't been putting up big points. It's Alvin Kamara for the Saints. So he is someone who you have benched. He has not been in your active roster if you've had him. He's put up...
This is true.
On average, he's putting up 8 points a week, but those work weeks feel real bad. I mean, 2 weeks ago, he didn't even get a point. But the week before the bye, he got 22 carries for 83 yards. And I feel that's respectable because he also added 3 receptions for 32 yards. So 100 all-purpose yards, 25 touches. And they're playing an Atlanta team without Michael Penix, without Drake London. Granted that Tyler Shuck, the Saints quarterback, is rookie QB and he hasn't played a lot of games, but it could be a game where they go up by a couple scores and they just keep handing the ball off to Alvin Kamara. And looking at Tyler Shuck's, not pedigree, but his experience, he's only played a couple games. Alvin Kamara is a check down master, so who knows? He might have 10 receptions just from Shuck checking it down. So I think you should fire up Alvin Kamara. I'm playing him in one of my leagues in a flex. You should feel fairly confident. I don't want to say he's going to get 20 points, but 10, 15 isn't out of the realm of possibility.
All right. Well, those are our picks. This was a longer episode than anticipated. But you know what will be a long episode is our Thanksgiving episode next week.
Why is that going to be a long episode?
Because...
Do we want to spoil it? Do we want to tell the fan?
We've always done it, so if the fan has been listening for long enough, he'll know. We preview every game for Thanksgiving, so normally that episode ends up being an hour and a half. So it's our extra long holiday special is what it is. Caleb is going to be in Vegas, so he will not be joining us.
What?
But yeah, next week, Thanksgiving, it'll be happy holidays, but also, it's usually our longest episode of the year. So, all right, thanks for listening.
Bye.